2, 3, 4.
Hello again and welcome to another episode of #GM of the Week. Last time we discussed the Flavor Saver tomato as the very first genetically modified food to enter the market. But that is a crop. Today we will be discussing the very first genetically modified animal to enter the market somewhere in the world. In this case, Canada and the United States. And I'm of course talking about, you might have seen some infographics coming your way, I'm talking about the GM salmon. I'm talking about genetically engineered salmon. It's the first genetically modified fish, but it's also the very first genetically modified animal of all. This salmon is being produced by a company called Aquadvantage, and it's been going around waiting to be approved and developed for about 20 years. So this company started to produce to think about genetically engineered salmon in 1989 or something. And since then they've been developing the science behind it, they've been getting approval for it, and it's finally coming to Canada and the United States. So you can actually now buy it. So if you're from Canada or the United States, send me a picture of you eating genetically modified salmon. I wish I could eat genetically modified salmon, and I will tell you why. So I'm not being paid by anybody to say these things, but genetically engineered salmon does sound like an interesting thing. It sounds incredibly interesting, and I'll tell you why. So this salmon is called Aquadvantage because it's got an advantage, a growing advantage. Basically what it does is it grows faster than regular salmon. So from what I understand, salmons normally grow seasonally. So there is a season in which they grow in size, and then this growing kind of goes dormant, and they don't grow as quickly and as much. What Aquadvantage salmon does is it grows independently from the season. So what the Aquabounty was trying to do is to get a salmon that they could farm on land and make it grow faster for it to be more sustainable. And I think they sort of achieved that. I didn't think I had a lot of questions and a lot of doubts about this technology, but I think they're actually doing something good for the environment. And again, I'm gonna explain why in like a few different steps. So first of all, how was it made? How was it modified? Well, Aquabounty did some research and found out that there is a different, so this is an Atlantic salmon, as far as I understand. So they took a gene from the Chinook, I don't know, here it is. I like doing this, it's really fun. Here it is. Okay, the Chinook salmon, maybe because it grows faster, I'm assuming because the hormone is different or it grows faster. But what happens is they took this gene from another salmon, another kind of salmon, and also what they took is a promoter from the ocean pout, which is another kind of fish. So they took a gene from the Chinook salmon, which is supposed to be a growth hormone gene. So every animal has a growth hormone. We are animals, we have growth hormones in ourselves. You could ask, why did they take the thing from the ocean pout? So, and what is a promoter, which is probably the biggest question. A promoter is basically a play button. If you take a gene that codes for, producing vitamin C, and it doesn't have a promoter before it, or some form of regulator before it, it will not be produced. Because DNA is basically like a book, but if there's nobody telling you to go and read that book, you will never get that information. It's just gonna sit on your shelf. Do you get the metaphor? I hope you do. I hope it fits. What they did is they introduced this promoter, which increased the amount of this growth hormone that the salmon produces. And the way it works is, imagine that that the gene is a song. Okay, your gene is a song that you're waiting to play. Imagine the ocean pouch promoter before the gene, so before the song, as a play button. So the organism that this promoter has been introduced to and the gene that just follows it will be produced much more in the organism. So what this means is that Aquadvantage Salmon grows way faster than its counterpart. If you Google it, you'll find different pictures of the difference in size of the same age salmon for a Atlantic salmon and an Aquadvantage salmon. It's quite impressive, but apparently it actually works. My question was, when I was researching this, does that mean that it requires more food? Does it require to be fed more often because it's supposed to grow faster, and laws of physics or chemistry, or what laws is it? By the laws of the universe, you can't make something out of nothing. What this new gene setup does is it makes the process more efficient, and it reduces this seasonality growth of the animal. So it's not that it's like pushing the growth of the salmon to its limits. It's eliminating the seasonality variable, which I thought was very interesting. So you actually don't have to feed it more. You just have to wait less for it to grow as fast, which is quite interesting. One of the other things that they claim as a company, and I think they're pushing this very, very strongly from a marketing point of view, they are promoting the Aquadvantage salmon as a very sustainable alternative to wild-caught salmon. So we all know that fishing is becoming very unsustainable. If you watch Blue Planet, you probably know this. David Attenborough knows this. If you haven't watched Blue Planet, shame on you. So we know that we are pushing our oceans to the limits. And some people think that farming fish is actually a sustainable alternative because you're not taking from that wild population to actually be able to eat fish. But there are some disadvantages to farming fish because fish is often fed on fish meal, which I've been told is quite unsustainable. There's so many things that are unsustainable about fish farming, but the way that they thought of this, I really love this, because sometimes, okay, parenthesis, sometimes when we think of GMOs, when companies produce GMOs, they only think of, their profit. And they only think of, oh, I'm going to do this because it's going to be longer shelf life, is going to be less expensive for me, for the consumer, blah, 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 blah. What about the environment? The environment is something that we always have to take into account, especially right now. Climate change is happening. If you don't believe in climate change, shame on you. Anyways, close parenthesis. I think this is a really good idea because they did take into account other things. So, for instance, they say that this salmon could actually be farmed way closer to cities, so it reduces the amount of carbon dioxide that's being produced in transport, for example. And I thought that was really good. I don't know if I'm being, fed all this information through marketing, so I'm believing all of these things and all the positivity of these things because of the marketing that they've done, but I really think that they're doing a good job in terms of preserving the environment. And I mean, sustainability has a lot of different aspects. One could say, don't eat salmon at all and go vegetarian, for instance. But, not everybody likes to go vegetarian, and omega-3 are really, really important, and people like to eat fatty fish because of that, because they think that there's a source of omega-3 and it's healthier than eating red meat, for example. So some people are pescatarian. There's so many different things that go into your diet. I don't want to dive into. I'm not going to say everybody should go vegetarian. You. Just keep in mind, the earth is dying. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. But yeah, the Aquadvantage salmon seems to be a cool way, and actually the right way to go about producing genetically modified organisms. And again, it's a world first. But I was listening to an interview to the CEO of the company, and they were saying that they're actually gonna try and make a trout, and they're basically saying, oh, the sky's the limit, because we could make all sorts of farmed fish that actually have this seasonality issue and make them grow faster, which is very interesting. One thing that I was worried about, okay, and I found information on this as well. What if one of these salmons actually escapes into the wild? what happens? Well, fun fact, first of all, because they are farmed super far away from the sea, where would it escape? And I've looked into this, and of course, they've had 20 years to actually think about this. So they made sure that they don't make mistakes. So of course there are some physical barriers. All that they're talking about, like pipes, all the pipes that go in and all the pipes that go out, that make sure that there's no salmon escaping. Also, all genetically engineered eggs are female and sterile, which is very, very good in terms of preventing this genetic material to actually escape into the wild. And you would ask, why is this important? Because again, it's called Aquadvantage. This kind of salmon could actually take over the natural environment of Atlantic salmon if it were to be released into the environment. But the reason why this is made to be farmed, that's the reason why. So it doesn't have any chances to escape. And I thought that was also very smart. But again, they've had 20 years to think about this. It wouldn't be very smart to not think about these things. So this is it for today's episode of #GM of the week. Yeah, this is another world's first. I can't wait to see GM salmon being sustainably farmed everywhere in the world. I will see you in the next episode. Sorry, these videos will probably not go out, be released consistently on the same day every week or every 2 weeks. It really much depends on how busy I am with work and all sorts of other things. But I hope you still enjoy them, and I'll make sure that I will let you know on all the social medias when the video is actually going to come out. So yeah, this is it from me for today. For any questions, tweet at me at Podified, or Instagram at Podified, or come to the YouTube channel. I'm actually going to upload on YouTube the episodes of the podcast that have previously been released by me and James in the past. For people who are maybe joining this journey right now and have no idea what I'm talking about, there's gonna be a Throwback Thursday episode of the podcast being released hopefully every Thursday, or maybe every other Thursday, on Facebook and most of all on YouTube. There's gonna be no video because we only had the audio recording, but hopefully it's fun. So this is me, and have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode.